Hey guys, it's Ann here from Pearson Bell at Home in Old Town Spring in Spring, Texas. So today we are going to explore the Dixie Belle Patina paints. We've got bronze, copper, and iron. So we're going to explore those today. They are finally in stock, yay! So we ordered ours and they will be here next week. So please feel free to drop any questions down in the comments. Tell me where you're from. And we are experiencing beta right now, which is just a tropical storm. It is flooding some parts of Houston, but right now we're just a soggy mess. So, and the temperature is actually below 80, which is a plus for me. All right, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and flip the screen down so you guys can see what we're working on today. We've got a couple of projects and we're going to use all three. And we're going to use the two patina sprays. So we've got the blue and the green that we're going to be using. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this down. I see some of you are hopping on. All right, so you're not going to see my pretty face today. You're going to see Buddha's face. So what I want to do with this one today is I'm going to do two tones. So on the top, I want to go ahead and use the bronze. And on the face, I want to use the iron. I just want it to be a little bit different. We're not going to see really the results of iron. It does take time for it to patina. And I will tell you real quick what we did to get these ready. Of course, always cleaning is your first step. Clean, clean, clean. I can't express it enough. This was a new piece. Cleaned it anyway. Rinsed it. And because it was a slick ceramic, I used Slick Stick. It is our bonding primer. I use it for very slick surfaces such as ceramic, glass, formica. You can do it on your ceramic tiles for your kitchen backsplash. Okay, so once I have the slick stick on, follow the directions. You wait 24 hours. I wait 24 hours before I go ahead and paint. We are real humid here in Texas, so the more moisture that gets out of the primer, the better. Once you've got that done, you just base coat it any color you want. I chose chocolate brown because, well, it was open and I felt like it. So you can choose any color you want. So let's go ahead and start with the base. We're going to start with the face. So your patina paint, and there's a method to my madness with these. So shake it really, really well. There are metal chunks in this, or metal pieces, not really chunks, you're not going to see them. It's metal pieces in this paint, and it's what causes it to patina, especially when you put the spray on. So we're going to go ahead and shake this up, shake it really, really well. And another tip, I use trash brushes. I use these are the throwaway brushes. Do not wash this down your sink. I can only imagine what would happen to your sink. Because I will tell you, when we are playing with patina and we spray it around these rust. So patina spray will rust, or patina metals, if it doesn't even need to be painted with the patina paint. So we're going to go ahead and do her face, and we're going to do her ears. So, and I'm just going to kind of tap it on. I don't mind having a little bit of texture because it will pick up, if you have brush marks, it's going to pick up the brush mark texture. And it's not really the look I want. So we're just going to kind of dab it on. And I'm going to be a little generous on it as well. So I'm going to get her face. And this is iron. Iron is a gray color. You could do your base color, a color similar to your metal of choosing. Like I said, I just chose chocolate because I felt like it. And it was open and reachable. Alright. Plus, I think if I miss a spot, you're not really going to notice so much in the chocolate, or even if you use like caviar, some of the darker grays would be great as well. And again, I'm dabbing it on, so it doesn't have to be perfect, and you're not going to get perfect coverage. Like again, you see I wasn't really worried about my coverage either on the chocolate. I only put one coat because it's really just my base coat, my scratch coat. Okay. Make sure I get all of it on there. Okay. There we go. And if you guys are local, if you come into the shop, I do have a wall, a rusty wall. We painted one of our walls and applied the rust patina on it. The only problem with trash brushes is they do lose the bristles, and you can easily get them off. Just like that. But if you guys are local, you can come see our rusty wall. It was just my solution to a very imperfect, very old building we are in. We are in historic Old Town Springs. This is an old train town. So back in the day, this was the place to be. And then I guess automobiles and everything else came along and changed that up. Alright, so I've got her base coat of the iron. I'm going to throw this one away. I don't want that. Alright, and so I'm not going to worry about cleaning the brushes at all. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, and why I'm using cling wrap or whatever you've got, plastic wrap. This helps keep your lids from sticking together so hard. So there's sometimes when you have your paint get stuck in the lid, it's going to pretty much glue it to itself. So that kind of helps alleviate that. Alright guys, and if you would share our video, like our video, pass it around. Helps us get exposure. Alright, so for her hair, we're going to do the bronze. And again, shake, shake, shake. It's got metal in it, so you want to definitely shake it and make sure you've got it all dispersed. Alright. And this pretty much ruins your plastic wrap, so there's no reusing that, just in case you were wondering. Alright, so this one is the bronze, and we're going to give her a bronze hair. And this is just a little, like I said, a little ceramic piece. I probably picked it up at TJ Maxx. It's white. It used to decorate my house when I had a condo. Now I live in the burbs. Doesn't quite fit. Doesn't quite fit the traditional farmhouse style that we've adopted. But I'm going to make him really cool. Okay. It's okay if you overlap some of your metals. And again, I'm just dabbing it in there. I don't need to brush it on. I don't want to brush it on. I just want to get it nice coverage, nicely coated. And this is your first coat. You are going to do a second coat, and I'm going to show you what you do with your second coat. And we're going to follow through on the second coat of this. It just won't be, let's say, cooked enough for you to see all of the difference. Okay, get that. Okay. And this guy has a lot of little hair, little bumps, texture, so it does take making sure you jam that brush in there and get all of that paint in. And also make sure we have the Great Pumpkin Challenge on the Paint Couture page, so make sure you venture over. There's a link on my page. I'm the Pink Pumpkin. Support the Pink Pumpkin. Go throw a vote over. You can also win Paint Couture paint as well. So everybody's a winner. And I go live Thursdays, 6 o'clock Central on the Paint Couture page. So that's 7 o'clock Eastern time. And then of course Dustin follows me, or maybe he starts the week. He is now on a new time on Saturdays because football is Sundays. Alright, and you can pretty much put this on everything. So as long as you have your base started, if I'm painting wood, I'll just have a base coat of paint and then go with my metallic or my metal paints here. Alright, I think I've got it all. If I miss a spot, it'll be fine. Alright, so let me put my wrap here. And typically I don't see your questions until the very end. For whatever reason, Facebook doesn't let me see those. I see who jumps on sometimes, but not everything else. So if you have any questions, just drop them below and I will answer all your questions. Okay, all right, so we're gonna let this guy dry up a bit. So I'm gonna move him out of our way, or I'm gonna try to. That could be kind of interesting, right? Actually, we're not gonna move him because I'm afraid I'm gonna break him. I would be very sad, and so would you. All right. So what we're gonna do is our next piece. I'm gonna turn my fan off because we're gonna be spraying the, got a little bit of other color there on her cheek. We're gonna be spraying the patina and I don't wanna get that blowing around all over everything. All right, so this guy, again, we sell these little guys. These are little pomegranates. They're little ceramic pomegranates. We have them in the shop. I think they're like $7. So you can buy them, order them, whatever. And I just cleaned it again. Always clean your piece. Slick stick it because it is a slick material. It is ceramic. And then I painted this one barn red. You can see a little bit peeking through here. And I went ahead and put a coat of copper. Make sure I get these out of the way. I put a coat of copper already, so this is pretty dry and we're ready to go on our next steps. This is really, really important to make sure that you got this next step just right. So we're going to again shake it, shake, shake, shake. Every time you open this and apply it, make sure you shake it and shake it really well, because again, there is actual metal in this. All right, so we're going to start at the bottom of that guy. And we are going to work our way from the bottom to the top. And I'm going to go fairly quick. And if I don't get all of it, it's okay. It really is. Because naturally, as things patina, they're not going to be always perfect. There's still going to be some metal parts exposed, so not a big deal. Be fairly generous of this paint process. Okay, I'm gonna get that little stem, and it is a little messy, so you may want to work with paper because it does have a little spatter or splatter. It's just because it's a thinner paint than your normal chalk paint, so you will have some splatter. It does have a bit of an odor, so you may want to work in a ventilated area. All right, okay, so let's go ahead and put our lid on this because we don't want to contaminate this next step here. All right, so again, we just use copper. All right, so what we're gonna do, this is wet. This is still wet. This is our second coat, it's wet. Now this is the green patina spray. I threw away my bottle, I don't know why. So I compromised this piece. This is going to be ruined because there's metal parts in there and I know it, so it is just the way it is. So I'm gonna move these out of the way because they will get messed up there or ruined. So we're just gonna go spray a little bit here. Okay, and I'm gonna change things up on you, and I'm gonna use blue also. Now note, the blue and the green spray work on both the copper and the bronze, no problem. To get the iron to change to rust, you have to use the green spray. Blue spray will not do anything to the iron. It will not make it change at all. So to get the bronze and copper, you can use both the blue and the green spray, no problem on that. So that we'll let this sit here a bit. Move that out of our way. So we're gonna let that, we're actually gonna speed this up and dry it a little bit, and because we gotta get this guy dried up a bit too. So that's the one thing working with the patina sprays, or patina paints, is just everything's really waiting for things to dry. Kind of feel like it's the story of my life, right? We're waiting on paint to dry, but hopefully that will start to change for you. I'm gonna go ahead and hit this with some, dry this up a bit. Normally if you were painting this at home, you could come back in about, I don't know, 45 minutes in between your coats. But the magic that we're doing today, we're gonna speed it up with a heat gun here and get it dried out for you. And again, on this one we did the bronze on the hair and the iron on the face. And it does have a metallic look to it as it dries. I don't know if you guys can see this starting to change. I can see the green that we sprayed and the blue. Blue is going to be a little bit different. Now it's important to always follow those steps. I've always had the best success. And I will tell you, a fresh can, for me, fresh can of iron or fresh can of paint, any of the metallics, but mostly the iron, I've noticed, including the sprays, when they're fresher, when you first open them, they're going to give you a much more vibrant, especially with the rust. If you want an old rusty rust, then if you've had your can open. Alright, so make sure she's all good and dry, because I don't want to apply. What happens when you apply any paint over paint that's still kind of wet, it pulls it off, so it won't do you any good trying to rush that part. Then you'll just be taking your paint off that you just put on. Okay, a few spots here on her face that are still a little wet. Alright. She's still a little damp here. Now this would be cool on all kinds of projects. So if you guys have ideas what you would like to see or how you would like to use patina, just drop them in the comments also. I like to hear your ideas. I just happen to have these pieces and thought they would be great candidates to do a little bit of patina on. We have an artist in town that's used our patina on some driftwood. some iron, which is cool. Left some iron deposits on the driftwood. And I love how the blue is coming out. The green is very green. Now what you want to do, you do want to seal this, otherwise it'll continue to patina. And if you're okay with it patina, you know, continuing, that's fine. But I do notice that when we do the copper and the bronze, they tend to get like a whitish haze on them. So to keep that looking vibrant and bright, I would just go ahead and put a clear coat like gator hide on it to just stop it from patina. Same thing with the rust, although on our rusty wall we haven't coated it, we just left it rusty, and we kind of like it that way. So it's not anything that gets handled, so you're fine. If it was something that was going to get touched and handled a lot and you don't want rust on your hands, then I would say, you know, go ahead and coat it. Oh, a little wet right there. I like how her face turned out. Looks like a real iron piece. See that? It's really cool. I like it. It was white, shiny white ceramic. All right, so now what we're gonna do is trying to debate how I want to do this one. So, because we want to work kind of fast. So, I mean, not speed demon fast, but you guys can see this has changed quite a bit already. So pretty cool effect there. Like I said, it does rust out or patina real metal, so you always want to take care not to have like your paint brushes, it will rust those out. So that's why we use the cheapies on these projects. And we also make sure that we close up all of our paints so that we don't ruin the inside of these, because we don't want them to get all patinaed before we get to use them. Alright, so on this one we're going to use the totally, I'm trying to think if I want to use green here. I think we're going to do 2 steps here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do the iron for her face. Okay, so that's going to be her base. We're just going to go ahead and dab that on. And again, it's very liquid, so it does tend to spatter, so you want to be careful with that. And also another thing, so I had a little drip there. Now I did have some projects when I first opened patina the very first time. I did a cabinet door just to see how it would look, and I had too much of the spray on and I dabbed it up with a sponge. Well, you see everything you do, so all those dab marks transferred. So I was like, bummer. But it was a good tool to teach people that it's whatever you do here, this coat, whatever you do with the liquid is gonna change or be noticeable. So real important. You know what, if it doesn't turn out, just apply another coat of your metal and try again. Okay. Not a big deal. Just have fun and paint it. Alright, let me get this back end. There we go, we got another little brush hair. Alright, so I'm going to try my best to not get this all over the place. Alright. I'm going to spray this one. Okay, lid this, so we do cover that every time. Alright, let's see. Trying to see if I have anything to shield her head, but I really don't. So we're just gonna spray. This is the green spray. Green spray only works on the iron. Don't ask me the science on it. I have no idea. It's just, that's what happens. Now the iron takes the longest to change. It'll take probably a good, to get full ironing, probably about 8 hours. Let's see. To get totally rusty. You'll start to see some, I think, but not quite the full-on rusty effect that you're gonna see. All right. Okay. Kind of hoping she gets a little drippy, because if she was out in the rain in the weather, it's gonna be dripping down her face. So that's kind of my goal here with that. All right. So now I'm gonna do her hair. And just shake, shake, shake. Okay, what is this one? This is our bronze. So we do make a little bit of a trash pile there. That's okay. Again, like I said, you don't want to use a good brush. You don't want to wash the metal down the drain. You don't want to wash the patina spray down the drain. You don't want to ruin your fixtures, so just get throwaway brushes. They're cheap enough. We have some that you can even get like a pack of 12 from Harbor Freight really cheap. Or if you have Lowe's or wherever you get your bulk supplies from. Menards. All that good stuff. Okay. I'm just making sure we get into all those little hairs of hers. There we go. So you technically could take the patina spray and spray a piece of metal. Yes, it will rust it, especially the green. I had a customer want to apply rust to his vehicle, and I was like, no, it will rust all the way through. So if you are rusting or applying rust to the patina or patina to a metal piece, you have we have a primer that will inhibit rust from going through. So that should be, I'm trying to think of what the name of it is, Patina Guard. So that will protect your metal pieces from rusting all the way through. But if you don't care and it's going to go outside or something and you want like a rusty look, knock yourself out. Like I said, I'm excited. We get the patinas back in. We'll have them in stock. If Dixie Belle ships them out this week, we'll have them next week. So that will be exciting to finally get those back in stock. Because these are really fun little projects. And guys, can you imagine painting your pumpkin with this? That would be totally cool. That would be a cool pumpkin. So, all right, so got that on there. Let's go ahead and close this up. Okay, we don't want to, and you know, we don't want to ruin our paint, because if we get any patina spray in that, it's going to ruin. All right, so want on the top, I want it to be, I decide if I want green or blue. I think we're going to do the blue. It's not really going to do much to the rust. Maybe we'll see some drips come down, but all right. Okay. That will need to sit for a bit. I may just throw a little green in there just because. Oh, let's put this away. All right, so just a little green for good measure, just because. All right, so we'll let that dry a little bit, or we'll let her dry. She'll be ready tomorrow. We'll get to see what she looks like completely done tomorrow when this all takes effect. So can't wait to see how that's gonna look. And then another project I started working on before I came on with you guys is a little cross over here. All right, so of course we see how this guy's going. Green really took effect. We're waiting on the blue. Might take a little bit longer. We see a little blue right here and a little bit on the edges. And I'm okay if he's kind of different. All right, so this is one we started. This is a little wood cross. This is the back of it. So it's a little wood out of, let's raise this up a bit. This is a little wood piece out of plywood. It's a little cross here. And I did this in caviar and then went ahead and did 2 coats of our iron. Of course, when you get the top coat of iron, you spray your green spray for iron. Now, if you look closely, it's kind of chunky. See kind of like some rusty elements to it, kind of chunky rust. What I did on my first coat of my iron is I just added a wee bit of the sea spray. This bag will last you a really long time. We've used this in several classes. We've had some customers want a rusty look or an old look. We've used this in classes. So this will last you quite a bit. Just add a little bit. It'll be the consistency of cookie dough batter, or, I mean, not cookie dough batter. More like brownie batter. So that's the consistency you want. And you just kind of, I take my cheapy brushes and I pat it on. So it's very similar to the paint couture crust, but crust doesn't get mixed in, crust goes on. This does get mixed into your paint. So I chose to mix it in with some of my iron. So again, just take a little bit of iron, a little bit of sea spray, mix it up, smush it on. That's pretty much all I did was smush, and then let that dry. And then put your second coat of iron on, and while it's still wet, spray your patina spray. And I don't know if you guys can see, it's already starting to rust. Now it's not going to be vibrant rusty today for sure, because that was we just did this today about an hour ago. So it's a slower oxidizing process. So I thought this would be really cool and fun to make it look like an iron piece, when in fact it's just a piece of wood, a wood cross. So it's nice and light, won't take out your wall. So again, you can use patina on pretty much everything, and I always say just use disposable brushes when you're painting the patina on, so that way you can just throw it away. Like I said, you don't want that going down your drain, especially here we're on septic, so I don't want to ruin the drains here. But ooh, I don't know if you guys can see, this is starting to turn, she's starting to turn really blue here on the top, so I'm real excited. So I can't wait to show you guys what these look like tomorrow when we're all done with them. We'll have the cross will be done, the pomegranate should be done by that point, and then of course our Buddha head will be completely rusty with the iron and the bronze. So that is pretty cool. So you guys have a touch of all 3 of the patinas and both of the sprays. Again, iron only works with green, and it will rust out your metal. So if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments, share with your friends, and happy painting.